Hi everyone, Cyber Witch again. I'm here with another book. This one was called Chatter. I really enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it. The author, Ethan Kross, is hilarious. And I just really recommend it, especially for highly sensitives and people who have a lot going on in their heads. Let's get into it. I'm going to review my tabs and just talk about the things that really stood out for me. So this guy, he's an award-winning psychologist. He reveals the hidden power of our inner voice. Now, if you're like me, your inner voice is probably kind of a dick. Maybe all the time, maybe for years. How many years? Let's not go there. Chatter. The voice in your head is a fucking asshole. You know it, I know it. So let's just get on with it. The voice in my head has been a total asshole for like my entire life. I guess that's me being an asshole to myself. And I bet there's quite a few other people maybe. No, just me. This actually gives you science and like actual data about why you should not be talking shit to yourself and why that chatter in your head is not a good idea. Chatter being, why the fuck did I do that? Why did I say that? Holy shit, what's that? Oh my God, why is he hating me? Oh, she's hating me. Oh my God, what did I do? So if you're doing anything like that in your head, that's chatter. You don't want to be doing that because actually you're not going to help yourself. And it's bad for your body. So just let it go. Easier said than done. That's why you need this book. This book goes all through it. Look at all these tabs. It talks about nature. Nature is good for you. Doctors and scientists are always really funny. They have this dry humor that it's hilarious in books. This guy, he had a very scary thing happen. Somebody sent him a threatening letter. And as a professor and a bit of a public figure, that's not that uncommon and usually amounts to nothing. But of course, it happening to you is another thing. So he goes on to talk about his experience and how even though he is a scientist that deals with thought processes and the thinking, what leads to thinking in your head, he went through this experience and suddenly his head was full of chatter. It talks about our executive functioning and how it can't really be present if we're just listening to that chatter all the time. King Solomon, and we know all of his little songs of Solomon to the woman of his life, his romantic love. But something they don't tell you is that he had quite a problem with his own life. He was amorous and short-sighted. He married hundreds of women. So next time they talk to you about romance, remind them how many wives Solomon had. Shut them up real quick. Adopting an observer perspective. It was really funny how he thought to himself that he needed to get a bodyguard, one who specialized in protecting professors. It's kind of how he snapped out of his rumination cycle, and that is he said his own name out loud. Poor guy had his Little League Baseball bat. This is his example. For example, when you say your own name, rather than thinking to oneself, why did I blow up at my coworker today? A person could think, why did Ethan blow up at his coworker today? Why did Cyber Witch do that? So there's the example of taking yourself out of the equation again. Instead of saying statements that are I feel like shit, just say, I wonder what feels like shit today. So I guess these are called shifters, linguistic shifters, switching I to you, unless you're a narcissist, in which case you already know how to do that, but for different reasons. It also has a pretty poignant letter in here from Mr. Rogers, Mr. Fred Rogers, about how he talked to himself, said his own name, and had to get himself back into the groove of doing his show. I guess he took a 3-year break and had to find himself. Did this book help me harness the voice in my head? No. But the first step is recognition. Realizing you have a problem, and then you can fix it. Do I have a problem? Yes. Is it talking shit to myself? That's one of them. Feelings of awe-inspiring. You want to be awe-inspired, it's good for you. Except for when it's not good for you. Then it's awful. It's bad for you. Awful. The last part of it actually made me tear up a bit because it's just so touching. Yeah. It even calls out employers. Come on. It calls out society, career. I love how all of these books just, they tell us that we should be doing, but no one's really doing it, are they? In society. It talks about placebos and how they're not really that bad. I mean, they don't do anything, but you think that they are doing something. So why not just take a sugar pill? You're gonna think that you're doing fine. That's one of the other things about melatonin. I guess it's like the most distributed, I don't know, fucking thing. Everyone's on melatonin, but like a lot of it's in your head. You take this pill and you think that you're gonna go to sleep, and so you're like, oh, I need to have my melatonin. I need to have my sleeping pill. Another great tip that I learned from here that I'd never heard before, or maybe I did, but the way he put it made it kind of click in my head. And that is, if you're going through a difficult experience, a tool you can use is called temporal distancing. Time traveling to your future. So looking ahead in 10 years and saying, how am I going to feel about this situation in 10 years from now? And if you really do think about it, the situation you're in is probably is not going to be that big of a deal in 10 years, hopefully. Maybe it'll be painful, but lots of times there's nothing we can do about it, especially ruminating. We're just causing ourselves worry. So if you practice temporal distancing, it can help you realize that your experience is temporary and provide you with some hope.